Hi, this is Maury Moreland Morrison, here to tell you Geico has more than just great savings. Much more. Yes, while Geico could help you rack up more moolah faster than you can say metamorphosis, they've also been the fastest growing auto insurer for more than 10 years. That's more like it. Furthermore, Geico has fast and friendly claim service. That might seem like an oxymoron, but it's not. All the more reason to say no other auto insurer has more than Geico. Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
We are the New York Knicks. I'm back in the New York groove. Well, it's the Knicks. New York. We are the New York Knicks. New York. For this new season we're about to enter, the Knicks is taking no shorts, just like winter. New York, New York.
New York be about the Knicks, huh?
But the best thing about New York City is
K-N-I-C-K-S.
Everybody say go, New York, go, New York, go!
Hey everybody, it's episode 338 of the New York Knicks podcast. And we have stuff to talk about today.
Yes, we were supposed to skip a week, and the Knicks didn't want us to skip a week. Phil said, I'm going to make news happen, so the boys have to come back for another week of shows.
Putting us to work. So you've probably heard by now, the Knicks actually have a head coach, and it's not Rambis.
You should have done a joke instead. The Knicks have a new uniform. Yes, we're going to talk about the new uniform the rest of the show. Yes. Do you want to comment on Coach Hornacek?
It is not Rambis, so A+.
Oh, how do you evaluate him? Well, his name does not begin with an R or sound like Ambis, so I'm liking it.
Yeah, pretty great.
I actually think my only issue with the coaching choice they made is I do not like the member of the family they chose. I would wish they chose Coach Hornacek as in his daughter.
Oh my God.
Holy crap. Have you seen his daughter?
Unbelievable. I saw a picture yesterday. It was like, that's a real person?
If they start losing, just get rid of Jeff, put his daughter there, and then every time out, I'm going to be glued to the TV.
I hope she at least sits on the bench or something, right?
Oh, just have her out there. Anytime the Knicks suck, at least you'll see her and you'll be like, oh, it's worth watching now.
I just hope she makes a couple appearances before the Knicks' annual firing of their coaches.
So you know the remember the movie Major League?
Yeah.
So remember the thing about the every time they won a game, they got to remove an item of like a little square until they had all the clothing off the owner of the team.
Yes.
Can we do that with Coach Hornacek's daughter?
Knicks would be 82-0.
Oh my God. She's like, guys, I'm going to take off this if you win tonight. That probably wouldn't go over too well with anyone outside of the show. Or sorry, anyone over the age of anyone not calling him, anyone that doesn't want to call him Hornacek probably wouldn't like this idea.
Although knowing the Knicks, she'd still be fully clothed by the end of the season.
She'd actually by the end of the season, she'd have to put on like a wool sweater. They're so bad. Okay, so we probably should talk about. Are you going to call him Hornacek or Hornacek?
I'll call him Hornacek. You call him Hornacek.
I can't help not calling him Hornacek. I don't know how. I can't believe a Coach Horny has a hot daughter. Come on. I can't believe people go to school and they're like, oh, have you seen Horny? I'm sorry, what? Are you into Horny? What? And then they get to a real person. Okay.
What is I
can't get over the name.
What was the interview like? Are you dating any of Matt Barnes' ex-wives, or are you going to hit on any current players' girlfriends? No. All right, you're hired.
I guess this is like, in response, I'd like to add one of my conditions is Derek Fisher stays away from my daughter and wife. Are you excited? Let's give some real analysis of this.
I'm more excited that it's not Rambis. I would have been more excited about a different coach. Not that, Hornacek has a 47 win percentage, and that was with a pretty bad Phoenix team. So it's not.
He had his first year. He was runner up for coach of the year.
Right.
He got 48 wins with a roster that was not very good.
Yeah.
Then that roster showed itself later on in the following 2 years, and he got fired. he had a pretty good tenure.
Yeah, it was decent. It wasn't. It was probably better than the tenures of our last 4 coaches.
Mike D'Antoni had a wonderful record before he became the Knicks coach.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can't read so. I mean, if your coach has 100 losses and has been horrible everywhere he's gone, like Kurt Rambis, you could read something into that.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of times coaches get better, and you can't read too much into their previous records. I mean, they had a different roster, different players. It's more than just the previous record. I mean, the previous record obviously matters, but you can't say, "Oh, Blatt went to the finals, so he's going to be a great coach here." Or you can't say,
well,
you got to look at what he did with the roster.
It's about roster. It's also about sample size too.
I mean, as excited as people were for Blatt, you had to say like, well, he got to the finals with LeBron. Any coach in the NBA would have gotten to the finals with LeBron, and LeBron didn't like him enough that LeBron thought he was holding the team back, so they got rid of him.
Right.
But it's also LeBron's probably not the easiest person to coach, and because you hadn't played, they liked Lou better for whatever reason.
So what happened? Did you watch the Toronto-Cleveland game last night?
I did not actually watch the game.
Okay. Because I was going to ask you what happened more, Biyombo rebounds or LeBron flops?
I did not see that.
'Cause it was
I was actually shocked that they won that game. I didn't think there was an actual purpose to watching the East play.
LeBron was embarrassing the entire game. He did 3 blatant, ridiculous flops that were like just groaners.
Are you done with talking about Hornacek?
He just got me so mad. It's like you're supposed to be the best player in the league, and you're just embarrassing yourself. He got hit by his own teammate, and then he turned around to look to see if anybody was behind him before backpedaling and falling on the ground. It was just terrible.
Someone's got to make a clip. Someone whose dream is to become a video editor should make a whole video of LeBron flops, because there are so many of them.
If you go to our Twitter, the latest message we got is LeBron's worst flop of the night.
Oh, someone put that on. Let me pull that up.
The funniest thing is LeBron flop was trending last night on Twitter.
I mean, he really, for
That's
such a
how
great
bad it was.
player.
Yeah,
For such a great player, he really is absurd.
It was just like it almost blew the game because Lowry had 3 fouls after 5 minutes of play.
Yeah. I don't. I really hate flopping. I really wish they could do. Where is it? I don't see it.
It's the most recent one we got from Hingle McCringle.
Oh, on Twitter?
Yeah.
On Twitter. I was looking on Facebook, a different form of social stupid media.
While you're looking that up, I will go to an email.
Are you really done with you not want to talk more about Hornacek? Because we're going to be asked 300 questions
Well,
about
that's
him.
the thing. I figure we're going to have about 400 questions about Hornacek, so we can go back.
Do you think this means we're going away from the... Let me see this. Okay, you go with the email.
Okay. It's from MVP of emails, Lorenzo. Do you guys have Mad Monday over there? It's basically an Australian tradition.
Oh, come on.
Oh, you know what the worst part is?
Oh, come on.
Biyombo got called for attack, even though it was Tristan Thompson that hit LeBron.
They really need to do something about this.
Yeah.
They never do anything about it, and guys should be suspended for games.
And
or
there was 2 more that were just as bad that game. One of them resulted in a tech. It did get taken back, but another one got called a flagrant, and it was just as bad of a flop.
Oh my God.
Anyway, it's basically an Australian tradition. Once your team gets knocked out of the playoffs, usually on a weekend in Australia, then on the Monday.
Here's what I would do. I would put maybe each team gets each other coach gets one flop, where he can throw it out there and say, "I call a flop," and it goes to review, and if they find a flop is there, the guy who flopped gets 2 fouls.
That's not a bad idea. I think you should get a flop flag and a challenge flag for if a ref just misses a blatant call.
Yeah, here's the thing. I don't like that part because I don't want the game to go on forever. I already hate how long
one
the
challenge
reviews are.
though. I mean, you got a game altering call, and
I know, but it makes the game even more annoying. But the flop thing, at least it would reduce the flop because once you know, oh, they've used their flop challenge, now I can go crazy. But it would just be like it would make the game a lot better. Because if you actually had a fear flopping instead of being like LeBron, like, oh, I'm just gonna flop because it's in the, I could do it. Go with your question.
All right. Mad Monday, Australian tradition. When your team gets knocked out of the playoffs, that Monday you all dress up based on a theme and go out drinking all day. It's big with rugby league teams. Apparently, Patty Mills introduced it to the Spurs this year.
Oh.
We do not have that, but that sounds like a great tradition.
I'm sure the Spurs really were having fun. Oh, we're out so early. This is wonderful. We can go get some Memorial Day specials.
What do you do if your team never even makes the playoffs, though? Because we wouldn't have been able to play the last 3 years, unless you just do it when they're eliminated from the playoffs. Then we would have to have that tradition every April.
Why are you guys getting trashed in January? Oh, we're Knicks fans. Oh, okay. Yeah, you guys probably eliminated
Yeah,
now.
they're officially eliminated already.
Yeah.
Andrew writes, to challenge the flop, the coach has to flop onto the court instead of throwing a flag. He just has to reenact the flop that just happened.
Oh my god! I mean, it is one of the worst parts of basketball. Even forget the refs being a bad job of catching fouls or calling too many fouls. The flopping thing is the worst thing. And I understand the argument, like, oh, we have to exaggerate things so we can get the call, or you don't. You have to be.
It's literally the worst part of the game.
I just feel like, can you imagine you're playing basketball with your friends and one of your friends flopped? You would never play, but you wouldn't even be friends with that person again.
Yeah, exactly. Like, well, we're done here.
Yeah, no, we don't. Oh, you mean we're done with the basketball game? No, I'm done knowing you. Please never talk to me again.
I mean, I've almost gotten into fights with friends who call a foul on everything. Like, they just drive to the basket, like, that's a foul. I get the ball back. If he flopped, that would end in fisticuffs.
Lose my goddamn mind. Okay, let's just talk about Hornacek. Well, I know it's in the questions, but let's just talk about it.
Okay.
Do you think this means? Okay, so the first thing is, do you think this means we are going away from the triangle?
A little bit. I think Phil's still going to push it, but Hornacek is more of a fast-paced coach, which is good news because the triangle is not fast-paced. So I'm thinking.
Speaking of fast-paced, did you watch that video that was posted about Will Chamberlain's 50-point year?
No.
Oh, Francisco posted this video that some dude did a whole analysis of Will Chamberlain's 50-point year, the year he averaged 50 points a game, and how while he had a good year, it's the year you basically put in some comparison. Like, what would your arguments be against why the 50 points a game didn't make as much sense?
There was a shot clock still, right? That was the shot clock era.
The shot clock era, yeah.
Probably because the plays weren't as sophisticated, so people would just run down the court and immediately shoot. So there was probably a lot more shots per game back then.
Yeah, well,
did I get it?
Kind of. Well, people, I guess, make the argument that the players weren't as big or the competition was as good, and probably those play a factor in it. And there's also, you talk about there's a nine teams, so there's a lot less travel. But they talk about the two big things they talk about were the pace of the game, the amount of it was ridiculously faster game at that point. Or I guess there were a lot more shots per game, a lot more possessions. What was that one? And I think they talked about the fact that Will played 48 minutes a game, which made no sense also.
Yeah, he played something like 48.6. He played more than the max.
They did all these adjustments basically to compare it to the modern era, and it was he really averaged 30. According to the comparison, he really averaged. It's averaging 31 points a game in the modern era,
which would still be the second highest in the last 20 years. So
yeah, no, it would still be a great season. But if you looked at the stat, there are a bunch of guys that average over 30 points a game in that same season. That was the same year as Oscar Robertson had the triple double. It was all these stats that were beyond ridiculous because how the NBA the games were played.
That was the same season.
That's the same season.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Andrew writes, I get the guy who asked the question is actually in the chat. Your team has Mad Monday whenever your team's season ends, regardless of if you make the playoffs.
Well, here's the question back to you. Does that mean when the season actually literally ends, or when the season kind of just ends for you? Like when you've lost 10 in a row in January and you're a Knicks fan, and you're like, screw it.
I think it has to be official, but with the Knicks, nobody's going to complain if you bend the rules a little.
Well, the nice thing then, unlike most teams, you could plan out like months in advance the day you're going to do everything. Because you have the NBA schedule and you go, okay, the season ends this day, and there you go, following Monday.
Yeah.
There's no reason we're ever going to play longer than this. I think this means Phil is kind of going away from the triangle in the sense of Hornacek's style was it was a lot of passing, a lot of ball movement, but a little more up-tempo, high pick and rolls, a little more modern, I guess a more modern version of the triangle. And I think he's going with Hornacek, do your thing here.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be like rigid the way he was over the other coaches.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think he seems to have a good attitude. The players, I think, liked him in Phoenix.
It is weird, though, how one of the rumors was that he fired Derek Fisher for going away from the triangle. And Rambis got there and we're going to be 100% triangle. And then he's like, okay, we're going away from the triangle again.
Yeah, Fisher wasn't good, though.
I wonder, they also had that whole triangle. Remember they had that whole triangle session for the veterans after the end of the season?
No.
You don't remember? He had Phil had a whole a tutorial on the triangle after the season ended.
Oh, right. That's a good time for it.
Whatever. I wonder if he either said he saw how the players were doing it with it. He did the hey guys, triangle for dummies session, and kind of just said, you know what? I'm watching all the other teams play. I need to go away from this.
I hope so. I mean, that would make sense, but the Knicks never make sense, so I'd be confused.
Well, I guess the question is he really always as rigid as we thought about the triangle, or he's not as rigid as we thought? And this is a demonstration that he's not really rigid. He's looking for just a coach that can implement a system with a lot of ball movement.
I think he was rigid, and he may have changed.
Yeah. And maybe he just said, hey, I'm not coaching the team, and no one else is going to do the triangle as well as I'm going to do it. So let me find another coach who has a successful system. I don't know.
Sorry, I'm just laughing because Green just kicked Adams in the nuts.
Nice.
Literally just kicked him in the nuts.
OKC's up by 9.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I hope they win. I know. Are you rooting for Golden State?
Yeah.
Oh. How big of an upset would this be if OKC wins the series?
It would be a big upset, but I wouldn't say it's huge because Thunder do have, 2 out of the top 10 players in the league.
Arguably top 5, and they had a 50-plus win season.
Yeah. This wouldn't be as big of an upset as, say, if the Raptors ended up beating the Cavs. That would be a much bigger upset.
Yes, that would definitely be a bigger upset. It's not going to actually happen.
I think it was a big upset that they won a game.
I don't think that's true. No, I don't think it's a big upset they won a game. I mean, most series don't go 4-0, and Toronto did win 56 games this year. They should be able to win one goddamn game against the Cavs. I don't know. What do you think this means for the offense? Are we going to see a lot more pick and roll? A lot more wide open?
I think we'll see more pick and roll. We'll definitely see more threes. I think we'll see Porzingis being stretched out instead of being asked to post up a lot, which is good.
What do you think? There was a rumor that Porzingis did not like how Rambis was using him, and he was basically talking to Melo, and Melo was the one kind of saying, trying to present, hey, this is not working for us.
I hope so.
Yeah. What do you think? How do you think this affects our guard situation?
They got to go. I mean, the rumor is Aflalo is going to go to the Clippers.
Oh, good God! I wasn't even thinking of Aflalo. I was thinking about Grant Galloway and the new guy. What's his name? The guy Roten. Do you think they'll look better with this system? Do you think arguably that the guards will look decent enough that we won't need another guard as badly?
No, we need another guard. Grant and Galloway will look better. I think Roten is trash, and Calderon's definitely
trash. He hasn't even played yet for us.
Trash.
He has not played. He's no Sasha.
And Calderon's trash.
Calderon's absolute trash. Yeah.
I'm not saying Calderon was always trash, but he's trash now.
I think Grant will actually look a lot better. And I actually have some hope for Roten also.
I don't.
Okay. What I don't want them to do is sign Conley or any big name free agent point guard.
I don't think I want any max player.
Yeah. I kind of want them to build a little bit. You need a lot of young guys.
Yeah.
Go young. Don't go all in on it's not gonna work out well just signing another max guy and going, okay, now we're gonna win.
Ideally, 2 to 3 like 25-year-olds making 10 to 12 would be better than just getting a max player and trying to go all in.
We're also not going to win the title next year. You got to build up a roster.
Spoiler alert.
Okay, we can go. What more emails?
Yeah, we got emails. nyknickspodcast@gmail.com is our email. We're going to get to Twitter in a bit, and that's at nyknickspodcast. And we're also nyknickspodcast on Instagram. Angel writes, I know it's not a basketball question, but can you tell us about your LASIK surgery experience, and are you happy with the outcome? Well, we're gonna.
Is that for me or for you?
Did you get LASIK too?
No, I didn't. I'm just wondering if you maybe I could talk about what it would be like. So what it would be like, I'd be sitting in the chair and they'd rip off my eye and shoot lasers in my head, and I'd be like, "This is a good idea. I want to come back if it doesn't work."
So we'll tell the full story on our other show, The Brink of Sanity. So you go to brinkofsanityshow.com or it's on iTunes. But
cliffhanger.
I would say this one went very well, and right now I'm happy with it.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'll give the longer version on the other show, but we gotta.
Well, I cannot wait. I'm on the edge of my chair.
Sorry, but we gotta keep this one moving.
Okay.
Lorenzo writes, "Hey guys, love the shows as always. When are we getting more man on the street prank calls? It would be good to hear how the everyday person rates this Knicks season. Next week we will start that again, or next episode, and we will be asking people what they think about Hornacek, and maybe even asking what they think about his daughter.
Mostly his daughter. We're actually going to try to call his daughter.
So Nick sent us a link to the Phoenix Suns of the Hornacek era. And it says, it looks like we're going to pick and roll heavy offense next year. Also, the triangle might be a better offense than Jeff Hornacek's offense. But by this video, I think his defense would fix our personnel better and fix our pick and roll defense.
I mean, his roster was ranked much higher in offense and defense than ours. So,
and it says, with this news, I think Brandon Knight trade may be in the works. I wouldn't mind Brandon Knight.
What are we going to trade his daughter for Brandon Knight? Like, what do we have to trade for Brandon Knight?
Derek Williams.
And a flawless lost career.
Hey, I know you guys got a young point guard. We have Calderon. We have Derek Williams. We have Lou Amundsen. You could have any or all of these guys.
Hey, I got some naked pictures of Hornacek's daughter. That's pretty much going to be our topper in every trade.
Yeah, exactly.
And Hornacek's like, Phil, how do you build this roster so well?
Why did Detroit trade Knight for Sasha straight up?
How did you trade Kyle O'Quinn for Anthony Davis? I don't know. We just had some things they wanted. You mean Kyle O'Quinn? Yeah.
Kevin writes, "Hey guys, what do you think of the Hornacek hire? The young point guard should thrive under Jeff, and we should really see what we have in Grant and Roten. Jeff Van Gundy said the Hornacek won't be married to the triangle and would implement his own offense, but it will be interesting to see how he uses the team when most of them were handpicked by Phil to play the triangle offense. Also, can we get the Beast report back? Carroll is back from his paw injury."
Get ready. Do you have it queued up, Jay?
Yes, I certainly do have it queued up. I lied, but here we go. Get ready for
Taylor's oldest time.
the Beast report.
Scooby-Doo! I got 10 points last game. We won a game. We're done.
Your shooting looked a little off, Damari.
I pause, not hands. Pause, and then I shoot, and then we win. Ooh! We got Biombo, rebounds. We get rebounds. Kyle Lowry didn't suck that game. Yeah, we win. LeBron's better than us.
Thank you, Damari.
I'm a beast. Scooby Stack.
Another great interview with Damari.
Scooby Stack.
Oh,
Give
you're
me a
still
Scooby
here?
Stack. I'm gonna rip your throat out.
Okay, here's a Scooby snack. Don't bother me.
Kev Love sucks.
He sure does. Nick sent us a couple videos of Hornacek's offense, so thank you for that. I'll watch those after the show.
I watched some of that. They look good. I mean, I feel like he's going to have elements of the triangle. I was listening. Someone was pointing out that obviously he played for the Suns and the Jazz. The Jazz, Phil always said he admires how the Jazz ran their offense to Jerry Sloan, and their offense, while it was pick and roll, it was not in the triangle. There was a ton of ball movement, a ton of cutting in their offense, and maybe they're envisioning something along the lines of a more hybrid triangle / modern triangle. I don't know. How much more excited for the season are you after, like, from 1 to 10? How much more excited you are with Hornacek versus Rambis?
I'm adding 3 points to my excitement.
Yeah, and I feel like Hornacek, at the very least, he's a good enough coach that maybe he won't elevate the team, but he's not going to bring the team down.
Right.
If the team's not playing well under him, I'm not going to say Hornacek sucks as a coach. I'm going to say the team just sucks.
Yeah, true.
I feel like you're watching Rambis and be like, oh, he's making them worse. Derek Fisher, what the hell is he doing? I feel like with Hornacek, it's going to be a guy that I've hoped that at least they'll be as bad or as good as they could
Yeah, I just hope he doesn't make the team worse, which is what our last 3 coaches did. So,
and he made Phoenix better, and I feel like also the good thing is our interior defense is pretty good. We have some good bigs. Our issue is guards. We have a guy that's probably pretty good with the guards.
Yeah, we had somebody in our Facebook group saying that defense was trash last year. Porzingis and Lopez were ranked really well for defense.
Yeah, the Knicks' interior defense, like the field goal percentage for shots in the paint, the Knicks were actually one of the better teams in the NBA. It's that the guard play was horrible.
Yeah, the guards was like the worst in the NBA. So
actually, Aflalo is actually one of the worst guards in the NBA as far as defense. If you look at his stats, they're insane.
I love that article that mentioned his he's looking at the Clippers and they mentioned his defense as an asset like 3 times. I'm like, you clearly have never seen him play.
Yeah, I was like, I look back and he hasn't. Not that this is everything, but offensive defense efficiency, it has been negative by a lot for the last like 5 years.
Yeah, he's not a good defender.
He's not a good defender.
I think his first 2 years he was good, and then people have just been harping on that for the last like 8.
Once you build a reputation, people just go with that reputation.
Yeah, exactly.
So
like Kid had like 3 bad years of shooting and 18 good years, and every game, even in his like 20th season, they were like, he used to not be a good shooter, but he's good now. I'm like, guys, he's been a good shooter for like 15 years now.
Yeah. Aflalo opting out, wonderful news. Sayonara, happy to see you leave.
It's not official, but hopefully soon.
We'll be officially happy as soon as you're gone.
Yeah.
That's already 2 things in the offseason. Getting rid of Aflalo and adding Hornacek, 2 things that make me happy.
Yep.
Hopefully they're adding that big man from overseas. That would make me happy. Hopefully they can find some way to get into the second round of the draft and draft someone. That would make me happy.
And hopefully they win more than 35 games.
Yes. I had some questions. One thing I wanted to mention, talk about. The draft lottery. Philly gets the number 1 pick. Sam Hinkie leaves. Philly gets the number 1 pick. Would you say that was a trade Philly made with the NBA? We'll fire Hinkie if we get the number 1 pick.
It just seems ridiculous. Like he has this plan. He says, "Trust my plan," and then they're like, "No, we don't trust your plan." And then he gets the number 1 pick for them.
Well, it's just I put this on Twitter. I said that the NBA should get Vince McMahon to announce the draft lottery. Who wins the draft lottery, because then it would sound less fixed. And I got retweeted by or liked on Twitter by Turtle from the Entourage.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. I was like, that name looks familiar. And then I clicked on it, and I'm like, 670,000 followers. It's
It didn't actually help in our followers, but it was nice to actually get liked by that.
Yeah.
I don't think we got any additional followers.
We didn't even get him as a follower.
No, we didn't get him as a follower. But but I appreciate. I don't know how you saw it then. But
yeah, I always find it weird when people like or retweet us and they don't follow us. I'm like, how'd you even see us?
But I also find like every year it seems like the team that wins it, like there's a story. It doesn't seem random ever. Like
Yeah, no, there is always a story. Yeah.
LeBron's going back, so they win the draft lottery. Like it's always shady.
Yeah.
LeBron leaves, Cleveland gets number 1 pick. LeBron comes back, Cleveland gets number 1 pick. Doesn't seem random.
Yeah.
What do you think this means for Philly?
I don't know. They're saying that Embiid is actually going to play and Saric is coming over. So if all that happens and they pick the right player, which
you got a lot of good young players.
yeah, I mean they could be pushing for a playoff spot like as early as next year. That would be so
Sam
weird.
Hinkie will just lose his mind.
Yeah.
And everyone will just forget like everything Sam Hinkie did.
Yeah. Yeah, the other guy gets all the credit and he just literally
By the way, OKC is blowing out Golden State, by the way. It's halftime, they're up by 22.
Jesus. So if all that happens and the guy they pick ends up being really good, I think they don't make the playoffs because Hinkie just goes in and goes postal and shoots the entire team.
I mean, in fairness, they probably will not make the playoffs because forgetting that Hinkie will shoot the entire team. I mean, Embiid will be his first year. Saric hasn't played in the NBA before. We're gonna have to like get gel. They still don't have any guards. Well, I assume they're gonna draft what's his name? Who's that Australian guard everyone likes?
Simmons?
Yeah, Ben Simmons.
I wouldn't draft Simmons
Why not?
because I like the other guy better.
Okay, who is the other guy a guard also? They need guards.
He's either a 2 or a small forward.
If they draft another forward, they're insane.
No. He's not I think he's a 2.
Okay, whatever. They'll probably trade Okafor, and they'll probably trade.
Yes, there was twice during that where he's like, "Yeah, I like our future. I like a lot of our young players, Embiid and Saric." He didn't mention Okafor either time.
Up by 25 now. Now it's actually halftime. Holy crap. Yeah. Anyway, Philly is weird still. Someone asked. Actually, I think they're right in the questions. Here's my other question. My other question is that this one got a lot of buzz on our Facebook page.
Ingram, that's the guy I would draft.
Would you trade Melo for a package that includes the Celtics number 3 pick overall this year's draft? That was the most active question we had over the week in Facebook. And a lot of people like trading him. Some people got contentious about it. Some people got offended for how good Melo's been for the Knicks.
I would trade him and draft Buddy Hield.
I don't know who I would draft, but I would trade
I'm on a
him.
roll. I'm on one. I picked it 1 year in a row. I'm calling it.
And he was a star. He's a star. So I'm going to let Jay pick.
I'm calling it now. Buddy Hield is going to be the standout.
I would absolutely trade Melo and try to get a draft pick just because Melo's old. He's injured. He's injury prone. We got to go youth movement.
Yeah.
But that does not in any way say Melo's been bad for the Knicks if Melo was 25, I wouldn't want to trade him.
Yeah, exactly. And no, he's been really good, but it just doesn't match up with our young players, and it doesn't make sense.
Why do you say young players? Like, why you put plural? Do you mean young player?
Well, we got Porzingis' buddy, Hernan Gomez.
Yeah.
Grant and Galloway are young.
We got more emails? Because we got a bunch of Twitter questions.
We're done with email. We're in Twitter now.
Twitter. Should we talk about the playoffs?
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about? Let's talk about the Toronto series real quick.
Okay.
Biyombo.
This is the type. He had a type of game last game where he had 26 rebounds. That's the type of game that makes the Knicks consider maxing him out. Remember the whole Jerome James debacle? They're looking at him right now saying we should probably offer him 20.
Oh, my God. Well, first of all, they do not need a center. They not get the guy from overseas. You got Lopez. You got Porzingis. no more centers, and you still have Kyle Quinn on the roster.
That doesn't mean anything to the Knicks.
The more big guys we can get to play the same position, the better.
I mean,
5
remember
centers on the court at the same time.
Remember when they had Marbury and they got Francis, and then remember when they had Amari and they got Melo? They don't care about positions at all.
You mean Amari? Yeah, Amari. Yeah, they don't care at all. But anyway, yeah. So there's no way Toronto's going to beat Cleveland. I know they got their nice victory. Wonderful Toronto. I hope Steven, our resident Toronto fan, was excited because they are now done.
Yeah. The Warriors are looking like they're done.
Who looks like they're done?
The Warriors.
Let's get to that one second. I just want to say Kevin Love scored like 3 points in the last game against Toronto.
Yeah, Love and Irving combined to shoot about 6%, which I don't think is going to happen every game.
How the hell does Love get 3 points in a playoff game? That's one thing. Melo would never get 3 points in a playoff game.
No, definitely not.
There's just a little Melo Love. Melo is so much of a better player than Love. I don't think it's close. The way LeBron is on a whole nother level than Melo, Melo's on a whole nother level than Kevin Love.
Yeah. Kevin Love, it's looking like he was more, I got great numbers because I was in Minnesota with a bunch of garbage.
Yeah. Especially, they always used to say his rebounds. Like, the rebound thing was, they say was a little BS because he would just be the guy, like they miss. He's like, I got the rebound, guys. It was always like, I got the rebound.
Well, that I heard he would literally jump in front of his teammates to pad his stats too.
Yeah, one of those also where like they shoot the defense, the offense, the other team's already running back, and he just kind of grabs the rebound. Like it would be like it would always go to him.
Yeah.
A little bit of BS. Yeah. So anything else you want to add about the Cleveland series? You know what I don't understand? Cleveland, not to like LeBron early in his career, he had real competition. He had Detroit was really good, Boston was really good, Orlando was good. You had some really some great playoff series during that time period.
Right.
Not just between Cleveland and Cleveland was getting and now it's gotten terrible.
Right. If you notice, when the competition was good, he didn't make the conference finals.
Well, his team wasn't. He did make the conference finals. There was the 1 year in Cleveland he made it all the way to the finals.
Yeah, once out of the 9 years.
Cleveland's roster wasn't that great, and he did have that epic playoff series against Detroit, where he single-handedly beat them one night.
Yeah.
And that was one of those times that I remember watching that game, being I'm rooting for LeBron, how well he's playing against Detroit, and then he left Cleveland, and the East, the talent, and East just fell apart.
It's been absolutely pathetic.
It's not his fault, but the East has been such a goddamn cakewalk for him for the last 6 years.
It really has.
There's no even there's no challenger in the East.
And every time it seems like they're going to play a good team, that team has a major injury.
Yeah, there's injuries all the time. Chicago should have been the team they play every year and fight it out to see who goes to the finals. And then Derrick Rose I won the MVP award. My career's over.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And people say someone was saying this year, well, you know what? The East is better than the West this year. So you can't say that anymore because the East had a winning record against the West. It doesn't matter. The path in the West is so much harder than it is in the East.
Yeah, whoever said that's an idiot.
Yeah. If Oklahoma makes the finals, their path was ridiculous. Having to beat San Antonio and then beat Golden State, that is one of the hardest paths we've had in 20 years.
Yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous. If they could do this, they absolutely deserve the championship.
The level of path that would be the 90s when the Pistons had to beat they had to beat the Celtics, they had to beat the Bulls and to get to the finals and beat the Lakers. That kind of path, kind of hardcore path.
And I think Philly and Cleveland were both really good around that time too.
Yeah, everyone was. This is ridiculous.
Yeah,
I don't know why. Why is the East so goddamn bad?
Can you imagine a team like Detroit making the playoffs in the West, or even going up higher? Boston wouldn't make the playoffs in the West.
I mean, you look what happened Boston was really good, but the roster was like, it was just timing. The roster fell apart. Everyone was old, so the roster kind of fell apart.
No,
Then
I mean, this year's Boston. They wouldn't make the playoffs in the West.
No, they won't make the playoffs in the West. No. I mean, the West at the bottom, like you would say, like after the first top five teams, it drops off pretty fast.
I still think Portland would beat half the teams. They were the 6th seed, right? Oh no, who was the 6th seed? Dallas?
Yeah. I think Dallas is a little overrated, but the East just sucks. Yeah. I agree with you. I think it's, for the most part, if you had to choose the playoffs, you'd have if you had to redo it, like who the best from each conference, you'd say the best team in the conference in both the leagues. Maybe Golden State's 1, Cleveland's number 2, and then the rest of the teams come from the West.
Pretty much, yeah. Toronto would probably slip in around 14th ahead of like Dallas.
I don't know if it's that bad, but because Toronto's number 2 in the East.
Yeah, I still think they'd be like 6th in the West.
Oh, 6th. I thought you said something like what did you say?
No, I said 14th, but my math was off. No, I think they would be like 6th in the West.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Okay, let's talk about the West.
Okay.
I do think this would be a crazy upset. How is OKC beating Golden State?
They're absolutely gigantic. I mean, they're playing like a 3-7-foot lineup, and the Warriors play ultra small. So you have, I mean, Draymond Green, he can cover 1 7-footer, but then you have Barnes trying to cover a 7-footer, and then you have Thompson trying to cover another 7-footer. It doesn't work in long
Adams
stretches.
Looks great.
Adams
has looked great.
Adams has been the difference maker the last 2 series. I mean, and then when you put him and Cantor out there together, it's too much for most teams to handle. I mean, the Spurs were way bigger and they couldn't handle it. It's a problem. And the problem also is that Bogut can only play like 20 minutes a game. And then when Bogut's out, you either go really small or you're putting in guys who aren't nearly as good, like Ezeli or Spites, who are, they're decent in small doses, but the way OKC is playing, you need a good big guy to be in there the entire game.
The OKC is shooting 50% tonight, and Golden State is shooting like 34%. I mean, when you live by the 3, die by the 3, kind of also that kind of kills you if you're not hitting your shots.
I mean, when Cantor and Adams are out, Ibaka's in. I mean, it's pretty crazy.
Well, do you think so? It's halftime. They're down by 25. Will Golden State have a shot of actually coming back and winning this game?
Yeah, I mean, with a team that could hit threes at the rate they do, they could go on a 15-0 run in 5 minutes. But if you have Durant and or Westbrook even semi on, it's hard to go on a run.
This is gonna be a hell of a series.
Yeah, I mean, even if Warriors get blown out tonight, they could easily come back in Game 4 and blow the Thunder out, or even just get a win. So
I was shocked by Game 1. Game 1, I was watching it, and Golden State kept almost going on a run and blowing out the game, because they'd go on a little run, and you'd be like, okay, they're about to just explode this game and be up by 35 and call it a night.
Yeah.
And then they would just like, Oklahoma would hit a shot, and they'd stop the run, and they just kept it close, and then won the game.
Yep.
What do you think about that? The travel. I mean,
I don't know how the ref missed it, and it was kind of bad. The thing that I don't get is what plays they can review and what they can't.
I don't know,
because it seems like there's some plays where like, yep, we got to review that, and then that's like a blatant travel, and they're like, yeah, we can't do anything about that. And I'm like, you guys just spent 20 minutes looking to see if his big toe was over the 3-point line.
I mean, also, having watched the Knicks, they reviewed the weirdest shit against the Knicks.
Yeah.
Where I don't know what the rules are, based on what they review against the Knicks. So right now, I think you had said Golden State was going to win in 5, and I said Golden State was going to win 6.
This series?
This year, what did we say?
I think 6. I think we both said 6.
What do you say now?
7.
You still say Golden State's going to win the series?
I don't like changing my pick Like, I don't like changing the team I say is going to win.
I'm going to change it. I'm going to go Oklahoma in 7.
Okay.
Why not? Can you imagine Oklahoma played Toronto in the finals?
That would be awesome.
That would be the most amazing finals ever. Just for the fact that like no one saw these two teams coming.
Adam Silver would have to change the rules for next year.
They would have super delegates.
Yeah, exactly. We won the series. Yeah, sorry, but you lost the super delegates. Cleveland's in.
I'm sorry. What? Yeah. You should have been better with super delegates.
Because of the super delegates, Cleveland started with 3 wins. So even though you won 4-1, they still won the series.
I know you thought you were up by 5 points at the end of the game, but the super delegates counted for 10 points. So sorry.
All right, let's do rapid fire mode. We're starting to run long.
Okay.
George writes, this is Twitter now. George writes, how many Jeff Hornacek questions did you get? A lot, probably 15. What Strive writes, what offense will Jeff Hornacek run with the Knicks? Can he develop a big man? I don't know if he could develop a big man.
I think we've already developed. We're already just developing big men.
Yeah, I just feel like we should get a big man. Like, why can't we get Kevin McHale to like be an assistant coach or something?
Don't we send guys to Olajuwon?
We should do that too.
Do you think Rambis is going to be back as an assistant coach?
I do.
So there you go. He's a big man that can develop big men.
I guess.
I
was thinking like a good big man.
Oh well, how about Patrick Ewing? He's never coming here, especially because we're not going to make him coach.
I would love him as a head coach. Alex writes,
why can't they make Olajuwon like a consultant? Just hire out Olajuwon's services. He does this anyhow. Like obviously he doesn't want to be a full-time coach. Just hire him out to be like your big man coach.
We should.
So when I was listening to stuff about the draft, I wanted to mention this earlier. So I was listening on Mike and Mike in the morning, and here's some things they said about the draft. They said Philly should trade the number 1 pick for some vets. That's what they really need. They need some vets right now. Trade them 1 pick, get some vets. That's the right path forward.
That's stupid.
They said the Lakers need to trade Russell. They said because Russell, right now it's poisonous locker room. They got to trade Russell.
I might agree with that.
I don't know. Of the 2 players, would you trade Russell or Nick Young?
Well, I mean, you could trade Nick Young, but I mean, if Randall hates him, and
does Randall supposedly hate him also?
I think everyone on the team hates him.
Oh man,
that's what I mean. It's like you don't care about Nick Young, but if the entire team hates him, that is a problem.
And the other comment I thought was interesting was, Philly trading the number 1 pick for a veteran is insane.
That's stupid. That's really stupid.
Then they said, Stephen A. said, Phil's job, his only job here is to bring in superstars through free agency.
I don't like that either.
I don't like that either. And I feel like Phil's job is to win games and build a contender. Doesn't matter how you agree how he does it. And the Knicks have tried this bring in superstars thing before and it doesn't really work very well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the argument for not drafting the 1 pick for the Philly instead of trading it instead was there are no transcendent players in this draft.
Everyone says that every year, and somebody ends up being good.
Yeah, they say it every year as if they know. Stephen Curry is one of the best players in the NBA. He went 7th because not everyone thought he was a transcendent player.
Exactly.
Draymond Green seems pretty good. He went in the 2nd round. You just admit you don't know what's going to happen in the draft.
Exactly.
Why do they always go, I already know each player's 20-year career?
It's so dumb.
Okay, go on.
Alex writes, has the Hornacek hire, considering his style of play, changed your mind on what players to target this summer? I would say no, because I want us to target guards, and that hasn't changed.
And yeah. I feel like also the argument that we got all these guys Phil targeted because they'd be good in the triangle, yes and no. I mean, a lot of the guys, Porzingis is not like a prototypical triangle guy. Most of the guys they got probably fit better in a open offense than they do in a triangle.
Just get good players that are good locker room guys. That's it. Toby writes, will you buy any Mellow TMNT gear for your kids?
I believe that question is directed at me, and if it's directed at you, Jay, you have some explaining to do. Maybe. I don't know. If it's on sale.
Bruner writes, what free agent point guard will suit Hornacek's offense best?
There really isn't a huge. I mean, maybe they should go for a shooting guard and then develop some of the point guards they have, or get some young guys. There's no one great in the point guard selection.
Right.
I don't know, is there anyone you really want them to get in the point guards?
Not really. No. It's kind of rough.
Either the guy's old or the guy's overrated.
Probably it's like our biggest weakness is this is like, and we have money, but this is like the weakest free agency trade. Like last year, there was like 40 point guards available.
The Knicks need to find the next CJ McCollum. What's the guy's name in Portland?
Yeah, McCollum.
CJ. Yeah, McCollum. A guy who was not getting a ton of minutes at guard, who could excel with a lot more minutes.
Gucci writes, Carmelo said he's looking forward to Hornacek's new up-tempo play style. When the star is happy, it's a good sign for the team. Absolutely.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
He also writes, Melo said he wants to play 20 years in the league. Would you want the rest of his years in a Knicks uniform?
No. I actually don't want next year in the Knicks uniform because I want him traded. And what does that mean? He has another 9 years?
7 more years? 8 more years?
I'm going to guess those 8 more years aren't going to be the greatest 8 years.
Yeah, I would say no for that.
I'd say he's at still a high level for the next 2 and then starts fading.
Agreed. Knicks Jets for life. After prior incidents with Rambis on Twitter and Fisher on Govan, no pun intended, was it wise to hire a guy named Horny?
Well, you know what? When you find like that he was on horny.com, you'd be like, no, I was just trying to buy my own domain name.
Yeah, exactly. George writes, do you think the Knicks are becoming a big team like the Grizzlies and Thunder?
Do you think the best part of having a coach named Horny is that if your wife catches you, you can be like, listen, I was just Googling the Knicks coach. I don't know what the hell came up. Okay.
I do not think the Knicks are becoming like the Grizz and Thunder.
How?
Becoming a big team.
Oh, they're not really. No.
I mean, they're not huge, burly, like plotting guys.
We need to be faster.
The 4-year-old writes, no Rambis, exclamation point. Mark, get your wife ready for that big black something.
Oh, sweet.
Okay, and now we're up to Facebook.
Sweet. We got a lot of Facebook, so we'll go. We got a bunch of them, actually, you'll see in a second.
Rapid fire.
Edward writes, horny check. Ed writes, any draft picks? No. Ralph writes, are you happy that Hornacek is the coach and not Rambis? Those are 2 separate questions. I think we're both agreed on it not being Rambis. Who would you have rathered of the coaches? Who would you make a much stronger argument for?
Out of Hornacek or Rambis?
No. We're all glad Rambis is not the coach. Of the guys available, are there guys that you would say I feel strongly he'd be a much better coach than
I mean, I would have rathered Vogel, Blatt, Jorger.
I mean, Blatt, I feel like he only had success with LeBron. It's hard to know how good of an NBA coach he would be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. None of the guys, like Vogel's a good coach, but nothing says like I'm so convinced Vogel's going to be that much better of a coach than Hornacek.
True.
I don't know. Whatever. At least he solves. I think Hornacek at least solves the offense problem a little. Like I can't imagine Vogel coming here and them going, well, Vogel's going to try to run the triangle.
I thought Jorger was very good though.
Yeah, no. I mean, they're obviously coaches that are better, and I still would prefer Thibodeau, but I don't think Hornacek's a bad option at all. Like, what would you say from 1 to 10? How is this higher? Factoring it's not Rambis and the guys out there. How do you like this higher?
7.
Yeah. Ralph writes, tell us what the coaching change means regarding the implementation of the triangle. Goodbye triangle? Question mark. We kind of talked about that already.
Yeah, I think they'll implement it like Thibs did in Chicago.
Yeah, elements of it, the triangle. Adam writes, from 0 to 10, how excited are you about the next season after the coaching change?
4.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be good.
I'm up to 6.
Okay.
I'm much more excited now that we have a real coach, and I don't have to worry about that part. And we're going to run a little more of a real offense. We have Porzingis in year 2. I feel like Grant will develop. By the way, someone liked a post from like 2012 today. It was whatever it was. It was or 2013. It was some like I clicked on what they liked, and it was talking about like playing Cole Aldridge, and I was like, "What?" I looked at the date. It was like it must have been 2013, maybe.
I had somebody like one of my Facebook posts from 2011 today. I thought that was weird.
That's weird too. Just some writes, of course we want Hornacek talk. Anton writes, what would the coaching be like if Donald Trump, Bernie, or Hillary became the Knicks head coach? Still better than Rambos. Okay, so Donald Trump, how would he do as the coach?
Well, his post game would be awesome.
He'd make great trades for us.
Yeah, the best trades.
The best trades.
I'll make Houston pay for that guard.
I don't think Bernie would be, because he'd have like more of a socialized approach to everything, in which like we each team we kind of just share the victories and the losses. And other teams they'd be like, let's all join hands, and they'd be like, we're just gonna score baskets. God damn it, Bernie. And Hillary.
Hillary would just run whatever plays we want her to play. She would, and then she would change her opinion.
I think Hillary would have made the other team like agree to throw the game ahead of time.
Hillary would be like, "We're going zone," and like the fans would be like, "We want to go man." She's like, "We're going man." That's what I said all along.
I said I'm a Knicks fan. You're coaching the Warriors. I said I'm a Warrior fan. Don't you know I'm from Golden State? Francisco writes, "Are you happy about Dolan? He doesn't wanted Rambis as head coach. What happens with a man we love to hate so much?"
Still hate him.
Do you think this is a Dolan call or a Phil call?
I think it's a Phil call.
Me too. Do you think the media had enough influence that made Phil make this move, or is it like independent of the media?
I think he was probably aware of people flipping out. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Steven goes on a rant because we didn't do Brink last week. We did, and we're doing Knicks today. I'll give you a little of his rant. He says, "I'm so mad I could punch a pregnant bitch in the stomach. Give me Brink or give me death. My life isn't worth living anymore without Brink. Brink is sounding greater than the Knicks podcast. F the Knicks. Stop skipping Brink. Why don't you guys give an F about the Brink? Where's my new Brink episode? Okay, it's cool to skip every second Brink episode, but we'll make sure the Knicks show a priority. F you guys. I'm effing disgusted by this new schedule. Give me a new Brink episode." Okay, you guys.
I love the passion for Brink.
I wish more people had this.
Yeah, seriously.
Steven, if you can get more people to have this passion, we would never skip a Brink episode.
Yeah, that is true. If we had more passionate Brink fans, there would not be preempted shows.
Yeah, Steven, it seems like there's more passionate Nick fans, Nick podcast fans. That's why we do more of these shows. Mm-hmm. He also writes, topic suggestion, give me another Brink episode, you Fs. You make me want to vomit, Mark. This is all your fault. I hope this shitty basketball organization gets run into the ground even more. You guys don't deserve a championship. Shitty effing Knicks podcast.
We're doing Brink on Tuesday.
I want this BS podcast favoritism to stop. I hope Fun Sponge rapes you, Jay, and forces you to pay child support for the fat babies that fall out of her cunt.
Jesus. Well, looks like we got an explicit tag on this episode.
Fun Sponge was a character from an earlier Brink episode I was not on. Jay writes, not this Jay, but they showed banners hanging from the garden. 72-73 world champions, 2016 didn't hire Rambis. It's pretty good. Steven then writes, I'm putting a curse on Porzingis. He will get injured and he will be plagued by injuries. I'm putting a curse on you, Steven. You will be a Toronto fan. Greg writes, what if Horny wants to bring in Eric Bledsoe? Thoughts?
Guy's always injured. I'd be against that.
How injured is he? I was going to say I'd be absolutely in favor of it.
Always injured.
Let's go to the actual facts.
I speak nothing but facts.
This is the let's go to facts moment of the show. So his numbers of games in most recent order, he played 31 games this past year, then 81, then 40, then 12, then 1, then 25. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at games started. 31, 81, 43, 76, 40, 81. So it's a cycle. Every other year, he misses at least half the season.
Yep.
But this year is going to be an odd year, and so he's going to play most of the season. So we just have to sign him to a 1-year contract. Or can we sign him to like an every other year contract?
You got a 4-year contract, but it's for 17, 19, 21, and 23.
A 4-year contract over 8 years, if you don't mind. I mean, he's a good player. I wish he could stay healthy because, I wish he could become a Knick and then stay healthy. Because he was coming to his own this year. He was averaging 20 points a game.
I know, but having 3 seasons where he played 43 or less, and it's only 26, like
I mean, it's insane. Any guy with an injury history, unless you're Phoenix and you know how to like revive the career of Grant Hill, you really should stay away.
yeah.
Uh,
Are we almost done?
yeah. Greg writes, would you trade Melo for a package that includes the Celtics number 3 pick overall? I asked that already.
Yes.
What do you think of? He also writes, what do you think of the biggest upset in playoff history? I mean, I think the Knicks 99 run overall was one of the biggest upsets in playoff history, but like, I can't think of an individual series there. Like them being Miami, I don't think was a big enough upset because they had always played Miami tough.
Nuggets, Sonics,
Yeah, or Memphis, or
Warriors, Mavericks for the Mavericks 67-win season.
Yeah. Yeah. The only problem with the Denver one is that it was a 5-game series.
Yeah.
So I'll go Warriors, Mavericks. Greg writes, what do you think about Dikembe Mutombo accidentally tweeting a congratulatory tweet to the Sixers winning the lottery?
Proof it's fixed.
Greg writes, check out number 3 and number 1. Hilarious. And this is Facebook he's putting up his own page. What am I looking at? NBA top 5 meme team. I'm going to look at that, not now. Because it's a visual thing and this is an audio show. Gilliam writes, what do you think David West is thinking after opting out of a $10 million salary for a season to win a title with San Antonio? That is a good question.
Oh, Andrew agrees Warriors over Dallas. I think he's probably pretty pissed, but I mean...
Yeah, he opted for to win a title instead of taking $10 million. He must be really pissed. He didn't even make the conference finals.
Yeah, but like, if he was on Indiana, he wouldn't have got any farther.
Yeah, but he would have gotten $10 million.
He would have, but San Antonio, they got upset. I mean, it doesn't...
Yeah, and I bet David West got upset also when he found out he didn't get $10 million or a title.
True.
Gilliam writes...
At least he got to play a lot less.
The rumor is that Lakers would offer Russell and the number 2 pick for Paul George. Would you do that if they offered it for Porzingis? I assume you would do it for Melo, but only for Russell or the pick.
No.
Would you do it for Porzingis first?
Nope.
No, right?
Nope.
No way. Would you do it for Melo?
Yes.
So Russell and the pick, would you do? Would you do Russell or the pick?
I would do...
Russell for Melo. You can add some other guys into it, but Russell's the main guy.
No, the pick has to be in there.
Would you do number 2 pick for Melo?
Yeah, I want Ingram.
Yeah, so I would definitely do number 2 pick. Russell wouldn't make me do it though.
Correct.
Okay, we worked this out. Okay, do you want to call the Lakers or should I? Gilliam writes, if you change the entire roster of OKC and the Knicks, except Westbrook, Durant, Melo, and KP, how would each record change?
The Knicks would get a lot better, and the Thunder would get a lot worse.
Solve that one. If you change LeBron for Melo, how would the Knicks get better? Yes. I mean, how much better? I guess just to take it a step further, would Westbrook and Durant propel the Knicks to the finals? I mean, yeah.
No, the team's trash.
How far would they get?
They're
in the playoffs with Westbrook and Durant. They're definitely in the playoffs.
They're in the playoffs. First round exit.
Well, you know what? Hang on. Does Durant and Westbrook have to play the triangle?
Well, I mean, with that team and the Knicks trash rest of the team, they're playing like the Spurs in the first round and they lose in like 5.
Oh, I'm talking about the Knicks, not the. You're right. OKC would be terrible. They'd probably be first round exit. But I mean, the Knicks with Westbrook and Durant, I feel like they're going to the conference finals at minimum.
I thought it was the Knicks with Porzingis and Melo and all of the rest of the Thunder. Wasn't that the question?
I thought they changed. I thought you said they switched rosters. They just traded Westbrook and Durant for
I
Melo
thought they said they traded rosters except for those four. Did I understand that wrong?
Oh, I thought you were just switching KP and
No, everyone except them.
Oh, so the Knicks get Oklahoma's roster?
Yeah, they get Adams and Ibaka and Cantor and the Knicks are like in the conference finals against the Cavs.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Why? Because there's so many other East Coast teams that are better.
I mean, I think they're second round of playoffs. I don't necessarily think they're conference final team. Well, look at the guys you got there. You still don't have any guards.
You have
I mean, it's still pretty weak.
Yeah, you still need a point guard.
You got some more bigs, but how many bigs are going to play? You got Adams going to play, KP's going to play, Cantor's going to play, Ibaka's going to play. Like it's how big are you going to go?
All the big.
you still need some guards.
Melo at the 2.
And Westbrook and Durant with the Knicks roster.
Yeah, first round exit.
Yeah, in the West, yeah. Gillum writes, are you more excited about Hornacek or his daughter? Not even close, his daughter.
Yeah.
Gillum writes, Hornacek, do you like more the possibility of signing DeRozan, as he's been quite good in pick and roll with Toronto? With Hornacek.
What? One more time?
With Hornacek, do you like do you like more the possibility of signing DeRozan, as he's been quite good in the pick and roll with Toronto?
No.
Steven, our resident Toronto fan, says DeRozan is garbage.
He cannot shoot. I don't want another shooting guard that can't shoot.
Well, he also says he's the guy that he just kills the ball.
Yeah.
You give him the ball, he just holds on to it. By the way, it's 5 minutes to go in the third quarter, up by 33.
Mark seems quite upset about David West losing $10 million. He should reduce his limo driver salary to compensate West.
I guess we're referring to my staff I have, right? That's pretty good. Who wrote that?
Andrew.
Andrew,
that was tearing it up in the chat room today.
That's pretty good, man. Gillum writes, Hornacek played the triangle as a player in Phoenix, so he knows the system. I don't know why everyone assumes it's so gone. What % do you think will see next season, or only principles like the Warriors? I'm going principles here.
Yeah.
Gillum writes, if the Sixers selected Simmons, they'll have a great starting 5 of young players. Simmons at power forward, Saric at power forward, Embiid at center, Noel at center, and Okafor at center. Wait a second. I thought Simmons was a guard.
I think he's a 3.
Oh.
Maybe a 4.
Not how many guards? I really thought Simmons was a guard. Well, not that I don't follow college basketball at all. Gillum writes, nobody expected Tim Hardaway to get a first-round pick last season. Who is the most likely Knick to be traded for a first-round pick in the same way? Naked pictures of Hornacek's daughter.
4-year-old said, Warriors getting blown out. Where's your God now, Bry?
Yeah, I meant to make a reference to that.
Bry's really good at reverse jinxes. He's been doing that since college.
Shit, I mean, Durant has to personally thank him at the end of this series.
Are we done with questions?
We have 2 more. Gillum writes, question brought up by Bill Simmons is on one of his podcasts. If Philly selected Porzingis, does Phil still have a job? So that means Phil selected Okafor?
He'd be on thin ice, yeah.
Yeah. Gillum writes, are you happy that once again Phil shows that the media has no idea what he's thinking, doing, or where he's going, talking, trait of a good organization?
Yes, I love the fact that he hides all his moves. I think that's great.
I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not.
I'm not, because in years past, it seems like everyone knew what we were doing, and they would mess with us and ask for extra stuff because we showed everyone what we were doing.
Yes. It was kind of like we used to play with play poker with the hands, like the cards facing the outer direction.
Yeah, exactly.
That is the end of questions.
We have one more that was a direct message in Facebook. That one is from Dustin. He writes, thoughts on Jeff Hornacek coaching our beloved Knicks. Do you think they'll give him time to develop this team? Does Melo just give up and waive trade clause? I don't think the Knicks ever give anybody time to develop the team. It's sounding like Melo's really against waiving his no trade clause.
I have to think a lot depends on what happens this offseason. If the Knicks are bringing in another max player, then they're not in for development. But if they're bringing in more of a roster and trying to develop and more young guys, then maybe they're actually trying to develop. Yeah. Hornacek will have time. There's no way Hornacek has the rest of Phil's era.
Yeah.
There's no way Phil fire. What does Phil have? How many more years? 3 years left?
Yeah.
There's no way Phil fires Hornacek. He has to be terrible. Because Phil, what kind of disaster would Phil be going through beyond his beyond his fourth coach? If you count Rambis?
Yeah.
Like, he's going to get a chance to all he wants to see is improvement, basically.
Exactly. All right.
I don't know, I got high hopes.
We're out of time.
What did you learn this episode? What did we learn this episode?
Well, I am moving soon, and I don't want to move an entire box of awesome, high-quality Knicks podcast T-shirts. So go to the NewYorkKnicksPodcast.com. There's a store link. $18 including shipping. It's a bargain. And if you throw in an extra, what is it, $6? $9? $3? I don't know. Throw in extra money and I'll throw in a Brink shirt.
If you throw in extra money, Jay can move to an apartment that does not have black mold.
Yes, I'm being poisoned by black mold, and I don't want to do that. So if you were thinking about supporting the show, now is a great time to do it because I need monies, and I don't want to move.
It's a wonderful, quaint little apartment. It has like some character. Is that black mold? I said character. It's nice. You don't have to worry about the heat in the winter. Is it on fire? Yes.
All right. So thank you for listening, everybody. We'll be back next week. Buy some shirts.
Buy some shirts. What did we learn today? We learned that Bry is amazing at predicting who will win or anti-jinxing people.
Whenever Bry makes a prediction, put all your money on the opposite, and you'll win lots of monies.
I mean, I cannot believe he out of nowhere called Kevin Durant overrated, and Durant is having such a great year. Great playoff run.
He was doing such a good job before he said that, too.
Okay.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, love. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go.
This is the end.
Say goodbye. You better go away.
I'm gonna leave you.
It's the end. Goodbye. Goodbye. Just leave me alone.
Feels so good to say goodbye.
I'm sick and tired and I'm saying goodbye. Goodbye, girl.
Goodbye, 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 everybody.
Cabela's is coming to Northern Virginia with a spectacular new store in Gainesville. Find everything you need for hunting, fishing, camping, and shooting sports, plus much more. Join us for our grand opening celebration Thursday, March 9th at 10 a.m. Be one of the first 500 in line and receive a Cabela's gift card worth up to $500, plus a chance to win one of 3 Remington firearms. See store for details. Don't miss Cabela's grand opening in Gainesville, located off I-66 and Highway 29 near Virginia Gateway.